This video is intended to help you install and set up an Infoblox Network Automation virtual appliance to allow you to discover and manage your Layer 2 and Layer 3 network devices. We are deploying the Infoblox Virtual Network Automation appliance on a VMware 5.0 ESXi server. The screen can be slightly different depending on your particular version of VMware. When you download your network automation virtual machine, it should have been in a single compressed zip format file. You will need to decompress the file prior to deploying it. The file you will deploy will have an OVA extension. When selecting a storage option, you will need to choose a data store that can hold a 60 GB image. Once you complete the ESX deployment wizard, it can take a while to deploy. When recording this video, it took 12 to 13 minutes. So now is a good time to pause the video and let your deployment complete. After the virtual appliance has been deployed, you need to start the network automation virtual appliance and open a console to complete the setup process. To log into your network automation appliance, the login name is admin and the default password is admin, all lowercase. You will get to change the password when you first connect to the GUI. The first thing you need to do is set a temporary 60-day evaluation license. You'll run the Set Temp License command from the console and select option 3. This process can take several minutes, so please be patient and pause this video while the license is being applied. Now you'll run the Configure Server command. This will allow you to name the network database, keep it short with alphanumerics and no spaces, the host name. Also, do not use special characters in the host name. You can configure NTP as well as your local time zone. In this setup, I am setting the time zone to US-based Eastern Time. You can assign the appropriate IP address and gateway for your network. And tell the network automation appliance which local DNS server it should use to resolve names. Now that you've completed the Configure Server command, the network automation appliance will take several minutes to apply the settings and will reboot itself. Now is a good time to pause the video and wait for your network appliance to reboot. Okay, let's log back into your network automation appliance and verify it has been configured correctly for your environment and that the evaluation license has been applied correctly. To log in the network automation GUI, you will use a standard browser like Firefox. On the first login, you'll be presented with a setup wizard. The first thing you need to do is change the admin password. The password must be at least 8 characters long with at least one alphabetic and at least one numeric character. Next, you can choose to allow network automation to automatically discover network items based on the discovery rules we'll set in a minute. Discovery ranges allow you to tell network automation which IP CIDRs and ranges it is allowed to discover and collect data from. Network automation uses the CLI on networking devices to collect configuration files and perform automation tasks. These credentials need to provide access to networking devices via SSH or Telnet. You can provide both user-level credentials as well as enable-level credentials. SNMP is used to collect data like ARP, CDP neighbor, LLDP neighbor, and routing tables. Network automation needs SNMP community strings that will allow this information to be collected from your networking devices. Telling network automation the IP address of one or two routers will jumpstart the discovery process so network automation knows where to begin. After adding a seed router, you can let the network automation discover the seed router now. This is a great way to test all the SNMP and CLI credentials you have supplied network automation. And once the discovery is working on the seed router, there's a high probability that discovery will work with the rest of the network devices that network automation finds. We will accept the defaults for the rest of the setup wizard. Please refer to the admin guide for details on what each of these settings does. You will now be taken to the standard interface for network automation. You will want to go to the Network Insight tab and then select the Discovery tab. From here, you can monitor the network automation discovery process by refreshing this table. Network automation is now installed and discovering your network.